Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shlitva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Master is in Nandan Bagan, Brahmo Samaj. And he will be going there. After having gone there, he will be taken to the upper floor where there was dais, and a preacher would be giving lecture and conducting the prayers and all that. Sri Ramakrishna bows down to that and tells why does he bow down? Seeing the presence of the divine is essential part of the spiritual life of man that makes him penetrate into nature and see something beyond which normal man with normal eyes cannot see. Even scientific eyes cannot see what is beyond five senses and mind. Science limits itself extremely to five senses and mind. Beyond it, beyond the waking state, they don't have access because of the limitation they have put on themselves. And the mind and intellect works in a peculiar way in the same groove of going through logic and reasoning. Reasoning and logic, if the intellect gives up, it gets the power to get the information independent of mind and intellect. It is called intuition. Intuitive understanding alone can give us a glimpse of the transcendental. Any amount of reasoning and logic cannot take you to the beyond senses. Just like a blind man, he may be knowing perfect reasoning, perfect logic may be in him, but he cannot understand what is light or what is even seeing, because he is in eternal darkness from birth to death. He doesn't know what is seeing, what is light, what are colors. He can never understand through reasoning because it is beyond the senses he possesses. If he gets once the eye, sight, and sees the world once, his all doubts will vanish. And that we cannot perceive what is in the transcendental realm because of the limitations of the senses and mind we have. We have to transcend the mind and senses one day or the other to know the eternal, to enter the eternal, to enter the eternal life of everlasting peace and bliss. There is no other way. We have to turn inward and go travel. Inward journey we have to take up. Live one by one layer of our existence as we live in sleep and go consciously we have to go, or expand ourselves to the cosmic level. Be one with the rest of the universe and be beyond. Only two-way journey, inward or outward, subjective ultimate or the objective ultimate. So Sri Ramakrishna is opening the eyes to things which normal senses cannot see. He is teaching them like a mother teaching the young one. In animals, we can see these tigers, leopards, cats, and all teaching the small young one. A common scene that we see in our village side is kitten being taught by the cats, mother cat. Now that it brings somewhere, it brings a rat or a mouse and puts in the front of it doesn't allow it to go anywhere. Mother is very effective and puts in the front of the babies, kitten. They get little hesitant to go closer. Mother again and again hits, catches and shows how to catch it. Jumping across, climbing the windows. Mother climbs 10 times and shows how to climb down, how to cross a distance. All this, how it teaches, you see, like Sri Ramakrishna is practically teaching, doing himself, not through words alone. God consciousness is kindled in my mind. God is present where people talk about Him. One feels there the presence of all holy places. Places of worship recall God alone to my mind. Because when the worship is going on, so many articles, so many things, so many people, so many varieties will be there. Anything can drag the attention of it. Two people are talking, somebody is making mischief. Our attention naturally goes to the worshipper is not doing with Shraddha. We don't even see God's presence there. How with our Shraddha is doing, you see. We feel. Except God, we see everything and come. So, to see God there, independent of all other things. The places of worship recall God alone to my mind. Once a devotee was overwhelmed with ecstasy at the sight of a babla tree. The idea flashed in his mind that the handle of the axe used in the garland of the temple of Radhakanta was made from the wood of babla. A devotee. Babla tree, wood is used in the axe. It's very hard wood. What in Hindi they call babool, babla tree. And it's quite hard. Any amount of hitting, it will. Two factors must be there. One is a little flexibility within itself, not to give shocks to the hand when we hit hammer and all that. For that shape is also often given in such a way that it acts as a shock absorber without giving shocks to hand. Another is very hard, that it should not break when we do the axe, use the axe or hammer. So this babool is considered as very strong, and within itself it has the nature of flexibility with strength. So that is in Radhakanta temple, Dakshineshwar Radhakanta temple is there. Garden temple of Radhakanta made from the wood of babla. Seeing that babla tree, he went into ecstasy. Another devotee had such devotion for his guru that he would be overwhelmed with divine feeling at the sight of Guru's neighbors. Krishna consciousness would be kindling in Radha's mind the sight of a cloud, at the sight of a cloud, a blue dress or a painting of Krishna. How the divine awareness makes them forget the body and mind. How deep they can go by seeing something associated with. If I am correct, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna bowed down to a cat, hearing that it has come from Kamarpukur, birthplace of Sri Ramakrishna. Like that, that cat has nothing to do with Sri Ramakrishna. Cat has come from Kamarpukur, where Sri Ramakrishna has taken birth in that village. How the links go. Mind cannot think independently without a link behind. You just watch your mind. A thought is coming. Behind that, another thought is there which is linking to that. Or somebody must ask questions. Some sight you must see. And then thoughts develop in such a fast way, and each one links. But certain things which are deep entering into your unconscious mind, or which is affecting your heart deeply, can come all of a sudden independent of the link. Suppose you are singing bhajans, you are practicing bhajans, or singing bhajans with emotions. You are fast asleep, you get up, suddenly you see that song is coming, because it has touched your heart, and from heart it is coming. And it can come any time, a few times repeated. A fortnight or a month or a year years have passed, suddenly on an occasion it may come. Certain scenes which has touched your whole being without your knowledge, simple things, may stay in your mind all the time, persisting. And can get associated with certain things. Now, cool breeze, you might have experienced somewhere in Himalayas. The moment that cool breeze comes, immediately you'll be reminded of those days of Himalayas when you stayed there. So these associations bring certain awarenesses. And if you are spiritually inclined to the extent that always your goal is very clear to you, and you are dedicating yourself day and night to that one goal of seeing divine everywhere, or to have a vision of the divine. You are trying to understand what is that divine, how it is. Suppose God with form, how would it be? Suppose I get a vision either by going inside, how it would be that vision, how God would be sitting, how will I forget the time and space bound limitations of my mind and enter within a small space within I am entering, and how does it lose its dimension, and I enter a new dimension where I am seeing fully like this, a world like this, people like this, person like this. Can I see such a vast space within? This small, as if you are seeing in a mirror a huge vehicle coming behind while driving. Can you see within you? So how do you enter within? How do you lose that dimension in which you are sitting for meditation? And how it would be? What dimension you are entering? As if you are entering into sleep and dream world. Suddenly you miss from this world these dimensions. While entering, you are shrinking, and then suddenly waking up in an entirely different dimension. Same thing happens, but it will be to a higher level of consciousness. Samadhi is higher level of consciousness. Sleep is lower level of consciousness, which is less real than the waking state. There is waking state reflections. Here, waking state, they are not reflections of the waking state. but it is manifestations that is descending from the transcendental. When I get a vision in the meditation, it is from the transcendental it is manifesting. Here, from the mind it is manifesting. Mind has acquired certain nature to manifest and play. It has the capacity to play itself. So I am a participant, I am entering into it, play of the mind. Mind is manifesting itself, taking various forms. Now here it is in higher levels of consciousness, it is not the mind manifesting something. It is as if it is imagination. Dream is something like imagination. But there is no my participation. Mind out of its own nature is projecting. Imagination is I am the kartri, doer. In imagination, I imagine. In dream, it manifests. It projects forth a world. But this is also play of mind. Imagination also is play of mind. Daydreaming also is play of mind. Whereas on the other side, when you go higher levels of consciousness like Savikalpa Samadhi and all this is an entirely different dimension in which we dwell. It is unimaginably vast and more real than the waking state, because from the transcendental, the manifestation is there in your heart. God is manifesting in your heart within. So this here we see the more real, because it belongs to the eternal real, unchanging eternal, manifesting this way. So, how the links go and bring the reality, take them to the higher level of understanding. Now, Krishna consciousness would be kindled in Radha. Krishna consciousness would be kindled in Radha's mind at the sight of a cloud, a blue dress, or a painting of Krishna. She would become restless and cry like a mad person, Krishna, where art thou? Longing is kindled. The main difference what we see in Radha and other gopis is Radha was born. Since birth, she never knew she has a body. She is Videhi, without the awareness of body. Bodily awareness. I have a body, she never knew. She was only aware of Krishna's presence and waiting for Krishna to come to the earth all the time. All other gopis had the body consciousness and Radha never had. And slowly, before Krishna could leave Vrindavan at the age of 11, within that period, they all get rid of their body consciousness. Ghoshal, one of the devotee. But madness is not desirable. Madness is not desirable. Ghoshal. How the mind works, you see. This is the reasoning and logic mind. We need intuitive mind which is independent of logic and reasoning. The logic and reasoning disappears and intuition awakens only when intellect is pure. What is pure intellect? Which is free from the grip of the mind and ego. The two companions of intellect. Always intellect moves with mind. Mind has reference to all the things it has seen and experienced and all the tendencies it bears. Mind. Vasanas catch hold of the mind. All the whole memory is in the hand of mind. what all happened from the birth. It is keeping in its memory. So when intellect works, it has the reference point it takes is always mind. It doesn't take the reality. So in Satyanveshana, this will not help. In search for the truth, in search for the God, the mind, whatever it has experienced, till today, from lives after lives also, will never help, because it is something of the darkness. And other thing is ego, which has doership, enjoyership, and knowership. What it knows is of the world, not the transcendental. And what tendency it has is, I will do this, I will enjoy this. Doership and enjoyership. My intellect must be free from that doership, I will do. No. That ego must surrender, mind must move away from the intellect. Then you will see, that's why always Ch.10 is insisted upon, Ch.10. And then only inner awakening of the heart. Heart will never tell a lie. Heart will never go wrong. It should not be under the possession of mind. Mind, so the intellect free from mind and the ego is free. It expands immediately, it expands to cosmic level. It is one with nature and dances in joy all the time. It is one with nature. Nature is beautiful, nature is peaceful, it is love-filled. So he experiences oneness with that nature. And that nature gives him all that absolute equanimity, samanatva. The samanatva makes him expand and penetrate into nature to know the secrets of life, by which he can transcend the nature. And higher, still higher intellect, the enlightened intellect awaken, which penetrates into the nature and looks into the beyond. So this, here the reasoning is coming into picture, logic is coming into picture, which is greatest obstructions. This is the problem of science. But madness is not desirable. Master, what do you mean? Was Radha's madness the madness that comes from brooding over the worldly objects and makes one unconscious? One attains that madness by meditating on God. Have not you heard of love madness and knowledge madness? A Brahmo devotee. How can one realize God? See how the Sri Ramakrishna is taking out the innermost, all these things. This is not desirable, that should not be done, this should not, all these are play of mind. Mind has acquired something, but within that, deep within is the how to transcend all this. And every jiva is constantly searching for these three. I want peace, I want happiness, which never goes away from me. Peace, bliss, and freedom. I want to be free. I don't want bondage, I don't want bondage. So only way is to go inward, and outward life is there in the world. Flexibility. Move with all without possessing that ego. Just look. Wherever need is there, serve. And keep silence. Observe smilingly. Internally, be in tune with nature and in tune with God, the all-pervading Chaitanya. And do all the duties with body and mind. Let the body and mind be working, let your heart be dwelling in the Lord, and Lord be dwelling in your heart. the deep within. The three layers we keep separate from each other. One is our bodily existence, which will be working in the world. One is our mental existence, the psychic existence, which will be constantly thinking of the divine. And when engaged, heart takes over its work to be united with God. And heart always longing for the vision of God. So this is how we live in the world, working. Now the innermost desire for freedom, mukti. How can I be released from all this? Wherever we go, whether it is heaven or hell or any place or cave alone, you see, wherever you go, there is problem and bondage and suffering alone. Last it comes to ourselves. We are become bodies so much that every pain of the body I identify as my pain, except when asleep. All the functions of the mind I take as my mind. It take upon myself. I am pain. It is happening. So here we see the innermost longing for release, mukti, is coming into the word, coming out from the person. A Brahmo devotee, how can I realize God? Master is taking out that inner. Master, by directing your love to Him and constantly reasoning that God alone is real and world is illusory. This reasoning is not scientific reasoning. This reasoning is called Viveka. Viveka is different from reasoning of the science. If God is there, why there is suffering, so much of suffering? If God is there, why the calamity came upon me? All these things are reasoning only. But when Viveka reasoning of discrimination appears in mind, then it takes another form. It takes into real and unreal, temporal and permanent, eternal and temporal, ephemeral, the passing things, and eternal, unchanging, eternal, and real and unreal, nitya nitya vastu viveka. That reasoning appears. That is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. By directing your love, heart to Him and constantly reasoning that God alone is real, the discrimination is reasoning in a point. That's why when we use the term reasoning, we use the term according to scriptures, scriptural way of reasoning. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.